Malchus. But there was a blind king in the Old Testament. I see that he was not having his eyes open enough to do it. And Angelos is here, so let me share it very quickly with Sayyidina's permission. Absolve me, Sayyidina. This is just one story about when God sends me somebody to open my eyes about forgiveness. As we said, he was there when St. Peter cut the right ear of Malchus. But there is this king, a very famous king, an adulterer king, and a killer king, a king that God was not ashamed to be called the son of David. The relationship between God and David is so unique. It's unbelievable that even as a killer and as an adulterer, he called the city of Jerusalem the city of David. He built a temple in the house of David. Actually, David, when he wanted to build the temple, God was so sweet with him. He did not build the temple. And God allowed in First Chronicles, don't worry. I don't live in houses made by hand. God, even when he prevented David from building the temple, he told him, don't feel bad for me. Why did David want to build the temple? Because he says, I am living in a house and the Ark of Covenant is in a tent. How come? And this is my life. I am living good with my studies, with my career, with my friends, and my spiritual life is in shambles. So this mindset God loves very much. So I told David, don't worry, it's okay. I am accustomed to live in tents. For 40 years in the desert, I'm living in tents. And in fact, no one can build a house big enough to contain me. Yet he allowed Solomon to do it. So he was so sweet with David, who committed adultery and killed. I will stop here. And basically, the story that I would like you to contemplate on and see your personality in it is in 1 Samuel 25. We will not do it now because I would love to hear His Grace Amba Angelos, and we're all here to get the benefit. But the story of Abigail and her husband Nabal and David, who at the beginning wanted from Nabal something very simple. Can we take some goats from you? Because David's men used to protect the shepherds of Nabal, and now they want some payback. There is a feast coming and we want some celebration. And Nabal insulted David with a word that's very, very bad. Basically, he said, is every slave running from his master is going to come and take money from me now? And these words reached David, and David, for the first time in his life, without praying, he took men and went to kill Nabal. And God saved him by putting the wife of Nabal, Abigail, in his path. And I will let you see how Abigail will diffuse the anger of David. And that's because God cared for David. He did not want him to be a king. This is before he fell into these mistakes. He did not want him to be a king with blood on his hand. So God will care for you and will send people to intercept your path, to teach you patience, to teach you forgiveness, to save you from an irrational decision. Just be sensitive. Don't just remove them from their hand. God fixed St. Peter. God fixed one of the biggest examples that Pope Shenouda, may God rest his soul, used. Arianos, who was an expert in making Christians suffer for their sake. He became a Christian and he was martyred, and he was buried with the two martyrs that he just killed. The three of them are buried together. If you doubt God's love, think of Arianos, an expert man in his life to torture Christians till they give up their faith. And Arianos became a Christian martyr. So God's love and his patience with us is infinite, and that's what he's expecting us to use with other people around us, and we'll get the benefit of listening to our beloved Amba Angelos.